guys, Randy here. Welcome back to Sewing Back. So we're trying a recipe that I don't have really a plan for, a tested recipe. I'm taking the basic Sue Becker Zojirushi bread recipe, and I've added my apple spice to it, and I'm going to add a cup and a half of fresh blueberries to it, and we're gonna see how this works. I'm hoping it works. I have picked all these fresh blueberries. I had plans for them, only to find out that my Zline oven went kaput again. I will make another video about my thoughts on the Zline oven, and honestly what the relationship I am developing with oven repair. Since a year ago I had to have this whole oven rewired when it was only 3 months old, after it was a brand new replacement from the original one I had that had a door defect that shorted out the wiring and the bottom heating element. So we had the repairman come today, and he was able to diagnose what was wrong, and what was wrong is that the heating element went out. And his words were, all of these bigger ovens have the same issue. Doesn't matter what the brand is, they all have an issue. Get a warranty if you're gonna buy one, and read it well. And so I will say, Zline, we contacted them, we told them what happened. I am not in warranty, and they told us that they would send us free of charge the part, and so we just had to pay for the labor to get the oven fixed. And if you were like I am, you would think, for the amount of money you pay for one of these luxury they are lower end. They say they're economical so that the everyday home cook could afford one, even though for us this was a huge splurge. And honestly, it was a gift from a family member when we had to do our kitchen because we had a leak. It was a small leak we didn't know was there over time, and we actually had to have our whole kitchen gutted and our subflooring redone and the footing of our house, and we had to pay for that. And so our insurance did not cover that. It was a small fine print in our policy. And to be honest, I've actually met a lot of people that something similar has happened to, and they had no idea that was in their policy. So that all happened, and as I said, we had a family member who blessed us with the ability to be able to purchase the package that I did. And so I would have never spent this much money on an oven, stove, whatever you want to call it, but I did, and it has been an experience for sure. It is my #1 video on customer service in Zline, and I have gotten a lot of comments, lots of questions. A lot of people are not happy with Zline because of the same issues that we have had. And I don't know if they've all had the same. Some people have seemed to have had the same customer service we have, and they have either sent them a new product or parts to fix their oven. The cooktop, I have the dual fuel, is amazing. Never had a problem with it. The vent hood, I love my vent hood, no problems. I even have the microwave drawer that goes into a cabinet, which I had this cabinet made for this drawer. Amazing, love it. Love that it doesn't take up counter space and that it affords me other counter space to do other things. So all of those products I love. The oven has been the only issue. And I have really lamented, well, maybe I should have just got an all gas. However, they've recalled the gas ones, and they also had issues with carbon monoxide, I believe it was. I don't know. I'm assuming they make those now. I don't know. I haven't looked at those, but I have read reviews on other stoves, because when this one broke, I'm like, if it's some kind of huge thing, then I'm going to have to get something different. And what I found time and time again, from Viking to Thor to Cafe to an AGA. Well, actually, I did not see that with their ovens, but I don't have that kind of money. And for all the people who say you can find one cheap on Facebook Marketplace, not in my area, because the cheapest one I've seen is like $18,000. That's not happening. So that one's kind of just, that's not me. Probably really cool, but not me. But all of the ones that would still be a strain on my budget, but that are 36 inches, because this kitchen was built around a 36-inch range, they all have problems, and they seem to revolve around the oven. And that is essentially what our repair person told us today. And so I guess, knowing that I'm gonna kind of have to treat my oven like I do a car. I get my oil changed in my car to go take my car to get it changed. I'm gonna spend almost $100 to get my oil changed for the type of oil and stuff I have to have, and get my tires rotated. These are things that we do. And that's kind of how my oven's gonna be. It's gonna have to have, probably, to be serviced once a year, every other year, something like that, based off of what he told us. I can tell you, I would think, I come from a time in life that you would think if you spent that kind of money, it's something that's going to last and you are not going to have to do things, but that's just not the case. And I thought one of the points that he made that was a very good point is that there are safety features built in the wiring of these ovens, whether you have a Zline or you have one of these other brands. There's also the coil that gets plugged in, and there's a place to kind of stop it if it overheats so that it doesn't catch fire. And that's what actually happened with this one. Apparently that's a big thing. They burn out, and it's a safety feature. And so with that being said, I know the wiring we had to have, the whole oven had to be rewired last year. We had the guy, he came out, Zline sent us the wires. I think I mentioned in a video last year that the wires that they took out were very thin, and they were burnt up, but they were burnt up where they should have burnt up so that it would not work and it would not catch my house on fire, okay? So it did its job, but the wires they sent us were very thick. It was like a totally different gauge of wire. The wires are fine. There's nothing wrong with the wires that were replaced last year. It is the heating element. So that was one of the things they thought last year, that maybe the heating element went out. It did not, so we left that one in. But now we have to have a new heating element sent for the bottom oven. And so Zline has kindly said that they would send that to us free of charge. But like I said, we're paying the repair guy to come in and fix it. So to fix my oven, have full transparency, it cost me $110 for him to come out and diagnose it today. And then when the part comes in, he says it usually takes a week. He'll come out and he'll put in the new part, take out the old, and make sure everything is working to where it should be. And that will cost me $139. So altogether, I'm in for $249 for, I guess, my yearly tune-up of my Zline oven. So, thoughts. I get the question a lot. Would you buy this again? And I don't know would be my answer if I'm in this home with this kitchen the way that it's designed. All of the other products from Zline that I have been fabulous and without any problems. Customer service for us has been pretty forthwith, pretty quickly. I wish it was quicker sometimes. It's always a hassle when these things happen. It's frustrating that all of these things happened, but they have constantly tried to set things right. And I think when people do that and businesses do that, we should be honest with that. Zline has not paid me to say this or any of these things. These are just our experience, what we have had happen. And as I said, I've had other people in the comments have similar things with Zline and say the same things. They sent them the part. I've had other people say other things. I can't verify either. They're just comments in my comment section, but I'm just, again, trying to be totally transparent. So my answer here would be, I don't know. If I were in a new home or I was doing a new kitchen remodel, I would do one of two things. And I haven't done the research on the 48-inch oven. But if I were going to buy another big luxury stove oven type thing, I would want the 48-inch. And the reason for it is because they have multiple ovens within the 48-inch. And because even when this oven is functioning normal, doing all the things like it's supposed to, it's a huge oven, and you get hot spots, you get other spots in there where it's not right, so it's uneven baking sometimes. Where when I had I had smaller wall ovens, because I used to have two small wall ovens, I never had that as an issue because it could hold its temperature. It baked very evenly. So if I were going to go for big, I would probably try to invest in something like that. Again, I don't know if I would do a Zline. I don't know. They probably have their own issues. I don't know. But that's what I would look for if I were going to go with that. But to be perfectly honest, you can get a 30-inch dual fuel stove, okay, or range, whatever you want to call it, that has 5 burners. This one does have 6, but you can get that so that has the 5 if you're interested in an extra burner, which during the holidays I use all my burners and I'm thankful for them. But I would stick with the other oven, or possibly look at, if I were doing a remodel, in having a cooktop and the 2 ovens. The reason I wanted to get rid of the 2 wall ovens is because I lost so much of my space. This is a galley kitchen and I was trying to get some of my space. And to me, this afforded me my space. And outside of the holidays, I honestly usually only used one of the ovens that I had. And I even had a small oven at that. 2 small ovens. I think they were 24 inches or something like that. So, to me, going to the big oven, I felt like I should be able to do everything I need for the holidays. And I can. I honestly can, and I'm fine. But if you're into baking, cakes, things like that, cookies even, you have to know in these big ovens that you're going to have to turn your pan. You're going to have to, even with the convection and all that, there's just parts in the oven sometimes that don't quite get the same temperature as the others. And I have read that comment through Viking, all of them. I've read lots of comments as of late because I really have seriously thought about, do I just start over? I'm glad I didn't. I'm very thankful. We contacted Zline on a Friday afternoon. They had responded sometime Monday when we were coming back into town. So we didn't really get a chance to respond back to them till Tuesday for normal business hours. And they told us a repair person. That is another issue I will say with Zline, depending on where you live. Not everyone works on Zline. We are blessed being in the Atlanta metro area. We have a few different companies to choose from, and we were able to call them on, I think we called them on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And they were able to come out today, which is Thursday, and diagnose it. And so, like I said, it usually does take about a week for Zline to get the part to us, and then we'll schedule for him to come back. So in the meantime, I don't have an oven. And it's summertime, it's okay. I have a fully functioning cooktop. I have a Weber griddle outside. I have, of course, my microwave. I have Instapot, I have a crock pot. I have ways to cook food, just not in the oven. And when it comes to bread, I have my Zojirushi. And so we haven't skipped a beat. We still get our fresh bread. I've pretty much moved to making all my bread in here because it's summertime and I didn't want to heat up my house anyway because it's been crazy hot. But I've never done like a sweet bread or anything like that. So the Zojirushi will do quick breads, it does yeasty breads, and it also has a feature for, you can do a cake, you can do different things in this machine. And I guess I could have possibly done this on a cake, done this as maybe a cake, but we went blueberry picking last week, and I have these blueberries, and I had plans to make, I really wanted to make this crusty blueberry bread I had seen on Reels. I was like, oh, that looks so good. Well, I can't do that because you gotta have the big hot oven with the big cast iron Dutch oven and all that, so I can't do that. So I don't know, I just started thinking, why don't we try to make blueberry bread using that bread recipe? I know you can do it, make a raisin bread with it. The difference are these are fresh, they're not dried. So that may make it a little interesting. We're gonna find out, and I'm gonna take you along and show you how it turns out. So the machine, I have put everything in here. I will link the recipe, what I put in it, down in the description. But I have my memory course set in here, and my memory set is the one the bread bakers give you. It's where I purchased my machine, and they're in Woodstock, Georgia. I'm in Kennesaw, Georgia. I'm literally about 25 minutes from their store. So we have the same humidity, the same things. This setting works for me because of where I live. We live in a very humid place, particularly in the summertime. And so this one seems to work really well. And this is the one I pretty much use all the time, outside of when I'm just doing dough. But I can't do any dough right now because I can't use my oven to heat that up. So I do miss that, but that's okay. So I put all those ingredients in. So once this preheats, it's on a preheat now, okay? And then it'll knead it. And when it finishes with the kneading process, it'll beep, beep, beep. And it does it a few more times than that so that you're alerted. And that's when I'm gonna put in 1.5 cups of fresh blueberries. And I will show you what it looks like when we do that. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. And of course we'll taste it and see what we think, if this is a good recipe or maybe not. I would have never thought to do this with yeast, but in the Zojirushi, it comes with like its own little cookbook and things like that. People put apples, they put a lot of different things like that in their breads. And so they have some different recipes for that. None of them had blueberries. So we'll see. But you can hear the kneading process is starting. So hopefully this will turn out. Stay tuned and we'll see. I'll see you in just a bit. All right, guys, I just had the beeping, so we're gonna put our blueberries in. Okay. Scoot it out. Scoot you over here so you can see what it looks like. Sorry. Okay. So it's still kneading, and actually, I'm gonna take my little spatula and make sure that we're getting all the stuff that's on the sides. Oh, I can smell that apple spice that I put in there. All right, so I've got 1.5 cups of blueberries. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this. But I kind of, oh, you can see, look at that. That's really cool. You can see the elasticity in it. So I kind of want them to get incorporated. So I'm kind of moving the dough around. Oh, it smells really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna close it up. It has 1 hour and 58 minutes left total. So it's going to finish kneading, then it does rise 1, and then it does rise 2, and then it bakes it. Well, you learn the most from your failures. It won't let me program in here or run it again because it's hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it in here. I mean, it's sunk in. This is all done. But I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to leave it alone for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out. And I think, honestly, let me get my temperature thing. Okay, so I'm going to take my thermometer and try to get a reading as to what it is. Okay, it's over 200 degrees, so it's cooked. It's fully cooked. Yeah, this thing cooks more evenly than my oven. Yeah, it's fully cooked. So it just fell in. So what I'm gonna do is when I get home from work tomorrow, this is totally edible. It's cooked, it's safe. Not very pretty, but that's okay. It still tastes good. What I wanna do tomorrow is I wanna redo this one, except do it on the cake setting. And so I'm gonna have to read, because I haven't used that before. And I started reading after the fact, and like, I bet I should have done that. That's what I should have done. I will show you the process, because when we fail, what do? We get back on the horse and try again. So that's what we're gonna do. This will still get eaten. I can't wait to try it. But right now it's really hot, so we're just gonna let it be. And I will see you back here tomorrow for take 2.